Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ISCA Thursday Cup Series here, as we are going to be tackling one of my favorite tracks on the schedule here. I should say it's not on really the NASCAR schedule, but one of my favorite tracks for sure is Iowa. And can't wait to see what these guys can do around this place. I mean, a lot of side-by-side racing this place is known for. Tire wear going to be a huge deal. Guys are going to be real fast early, but could burn it up quickly. Of course, this is a little bit of a bumpy track as well, a little bit more of a banked Richmond. But excited to see what these guys have in store for us. He's watching Abner Acosta right now in practice. Practice is actually wrapping up. Of course, I'm Brian Britt, and I'm joined at the booth by none other than Big Al. How you doing tonight, Big Al?
Doing all right, Brian. Doing all right.
I hear that. Well, looks like qualifying is going to be starting here very, very soon. Of course, we're going to have 219 laps tonight. That's quite a long one, isn't it, Big Al?
Yeah, that's going to be one for the books.
100%. Well, looking at a little bit more of the race facts here. Of course, this is the Pioneer 200, sponsored by none other than Josh Schaffner here tonight. So glad to see him taking the initiative there and putting out Pioneer. Of course, has to do with a lot of corn, and I think Iowa it works out. It's pretty appropriate. Of course, 219 laps, as we mentioned before. Stages are 45 and 100, so fairly short on the stage front. But that last stage is going to be quite the doozy. Of course, the fuel window is 100 laps. They got 5 sets of tires, 4 actually down in the pits. And qualifying is underway. You see Randy Mullins is out there right now. Of course, Chris Johnson also, Derek Heitman, Abner Acosta. I do believe Greg Carr going to be making his way out there. J.C. Evans. So everyone flocking out onto the racetrack to see if they can get the best time. Of course, track position is fairly important here at this place. Of course, you want to be at the front, I'd say, just considering this is a place where you can get quite backed up. There is the potential for 3 wide racing, but a lot of times it's not as quick if you're by yourself. I mean, that's every track, though, Big Al, wouldn't you say? When you're side by side, it slows you down.
Yeah, definitely, Brian.
Taking a look here at the standings for the Thursday Cup Series. Matt DeCiani right now at the top of the board. And one thing I noticed looking before, he's actually down a race. I think he only did 6 races thus far this season. This is going to be the 7th here. And everybody else, I do believe, has a race over him. But still, he is the points leader. So it just shows how consistent he has been. Of course, he's got 1 win, 4 top 5s at 315 points. Don Avery sitting in second, only about 4 points back. So Avery has a chance tonight to make something happen. Josh Schaffner, of course, has 2 wins. He's in third right now, not too far back, 7 points back from the points leader, DeCiani. Derek Heitman, of course, is sitting in 4th place with 2 wins as well. So I'm sure those two are going to be trying to have a little bit of a tiebreaker to see who can kind of take that crown of who has the most wins. Of course, Kenny Powell sitting in 5th, Greg Wachinski sitting in 6th, 7th, Mark Sanchez, 8th, Al Kozlowski, 9th, Darren Mullins, and 10th, Randy Mullins, who has definitely been showing quite a bit of speed. The top 4 in points, though, really close here, as they're only separated by only 9 points, Big Al. I mean, we're going to have some changing, I think, tonight, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but this is going to be an interesting race. A lot of points implications on the line here for these gentlemen tonight as well.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely going to be a lot of points that could change for sure. The actual standings themselves, I think, are not going to look the same after this race. And these guys are going to be wore out. I mean, Big Al, I've done some A Opens this week. I've done about 3 or 4 of them. And I'll tell you, the A Open's 150 laps. That thing's entirely too long, in my opinion. I was wore out by the end of it, so I can't imagine what these guys are going to feel like after 219.
Well, they're probably going to feel about like I feel right now. If that's and that is not good.
Well, we definitely hope you feel better, Big Al. I'm glad to at least have you with us tonight. You see Al Kozlowski right now on the racetrack trying to get his qualifying attempt in right now. Brian Johnson still out there, but qualifying is starting to run out of time. Can't wait to see what these guys can do. I mean, this is a track that I just absolutely love. I mean, it takes a lot of finesse. I mean, you can run the top line, you can run the bottom line, but exit is going to be the main deal. You're going to want that car to be a little bit on the looser end, I'd say, but not too loose, because I'll tell you what, when these tires get about 50-plus laps on them, you're going to be feeling it, and it's going to be really hard to pedal that car around. I mean, a lot like what we saw at Atlanta last week, how hard it got to drive later in the race.
Yeah, definitely. And, seeing Abner show up here on Thursday, that might be a good sign. I know he had a scheduling conflict on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely happy to see him for sure, because I know he was running on Saturdays and had mentioned that he possibly could run on the Thursday series, so we're glad to see him for sure. It looks like qualifying has ramped up. Let's go ahead and take that step away, play our national anthem. We'll be right back with your starting grid.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The nighttime is the right time. Remember what I told all my drivers? Reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time. Drivers, start your engines!
There are only a few corn rootworm traits widely available, and many brands use the same ones. So switching brands for corn rootworm needs may have little impact when it comes to traits protecting your fields. There are two main types of Bt proteins, Cry3 and Cry3435. Because most corn rootworm products include two modes of action, there is typically at least one trait from each of these protein families in a product. Cry3435 traits carry the heaviest weight when it comes to protecting against corn rootworm today. The two Cry3435 events out there are the Herculex Extra trait and the event DP4114 found in Pioneer brand Chrome products. Pioneer helped develop both of these traits. Since seed brands all share Bt trait technologies, the bigger performance difference comes from the corn genetics. They determine traits like yield potential, root strength, and disease tolerance to yield-robbing diseases like tar spot. Pioneer corn hybrids are 100% exclusive. Nope, you won't find them in another bag, and come from the germplasm we've been building for more than 100 years. We're the only corn brand that can say that.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for Josh Schaffner doing that little video there for Pioneer. And speaking of Josh Schaffner, he is starting on the pole here for this race. Matt DeCiani going to be starting in second place. One moment, waiting on the Abner Acosta going to be starting in third. Derek Heitman going to be starting fourth. Fifth place, Chris Johnson. Randy Mullins in sixth. Seventh place, J.C. Evans. Greg Wachinski in that 5 machine starting in eighth. Ninth place, Mark Sanchez. And Darren Mullins starts out in that 10th place position.
And that's going to put Kenny Powell in P11 with Brian Johnson on his outside 12th. Great car. Starts at 13th, but Al Koslowski going to be outside here in 14th. Don Avery 15th with Paul Olsen 16th, and Matthew McMeekin and Ryan Strunk round out this 18-car field.
Pretty good size field we got here tonight for Iowa. I'd say it's going to be a good one for sure. I think we're going to see plenty of incidents of 3 wide for sure. I mean, this place definitely allows you to do that. And but I tell you what, my favorite thing about this racetrack is running the top side. It's just so much fun. If you find yourself in that 3 wide condition, you'd want to be on the top because that's where the runs come from, Big Al. Let's talk a little bit about the track facts for tonight's race. A little bit about the weather, Big Al. You think you can take care of that for us?
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. The weather tonight, 70 degrees out there in that ambient. 75 degrees is the track temperature with the winds out of the west, about 2 miles an hour. Looks like perfect race weather. Don't think it's going to get too hot here today, hopefully.
Yeah, that's some good race weather. Going to be very grippy out there on the racing surface for sure. I'll tell you, I just want them to add. I wish NASCAR would bring the Cup cars to this racetrack. And I've heard people that have actually been to this venue several times and stuff like that. They say that the infrastructure's there to where these guys, the Cup cars could run here. And I'd love to see it. Of course, the next gens have never raced this surface. I do believe the Xfinity has raced at Iowa before. As you can see, everybody has started rolling. We're going to get this thing underway. 219 laps. This is going to be quite the doozy of a show here, ladies and gentlemen. But I have a feeling this is going to be exciting the whole way through. I mean, this is a place that just encourages you to race as hard as you possibly can. Of course, tires are going to maybe tell a different story. We'll have to wait and see how that works. But I don't know. I mean, a lot of people I've talked to before about this place, they say that this track gives you exactly what you give it. So if your car starts to get real tight or starts to get real loose, you change the way you run it, and it'll change the way the tires wear, and you'll trend back the other way. So this is a track to where, you're going to have phases. You get what I'm saying, Big Al, to where you're going to go from tight to loose to tight to loose.
Yeah, it's called the progression of the race surface, and it's exactly what these guys are going to see here tonight. Track conditions are going to change. That car is going to go from being right in your lap to running away from you. So drivers are going to have to figure that out as they go, and a lot of them have to figure it out on the fly. But with 219 laps, I think we got plenty of time to see how this one's going to play out.
Yeah, I think we got plenty of time. These guys are going to figure it out. Of course, they don't have any fast repairs to speak of, so if they hit that wall, could be a bad day. I mean, I know I was watching them practice quite a bit, and quite a few drivers smacked into that wall, broke that toe link, and that is almost a death sentence at a track like this. But with 219 laps, I mean, you have time to possibly get back on the lead lap. Just have to wait and see. I mean, it just depends on how the cautions kind of roll. I know this is a track that usually goes fairly green. Green flag is out, though. And Josh Schaffner kind of inching forward, not really able to get the greatest start for sure, but DeCiani up on the top. Now, this is going to be crazy here. I think DeCiani has an opportunity to take the lead here, but it looks like he is going to check it up, back it down, as you see Abner Acosta fending off Derek Heitman for the third place position, and now here comes Acosta to the inside, going to try to take over second as DeCiani moves up to the top and gets a heck of a run out of turn number 4. Looks like Josh Schaffner is going to hold on to the lead, though, and Randy Mullins now trying to get underneath Chris Johnson. See that right now here on your screen. Oh, real close. A little too close for comfort as they battle for the 5th place position.
Chris Johnson sporting a new number here tonight. He is in the 99.
Whoa.
Get a little bit swirly there with the 54, Randy Mullins.
That was a scary situation right there. You see J.C. Evans trying to take advantage. Going to be trying to work his way up to get as many positions as they can. Of course, we always talk about how important the points are in these stages. So I know a lot of these guys have that on their mind. They know they have to finish well in this stage to get as many points as they can, because we talk about it all the time. The stage points can be more important than the win.
Yeah, 100%, Brian. And that's what you even see in the point standings right now, is where you finish at in these stages matters just as much as where you finish the race at, because you don't get a lot of opportunities to make points. So you got to make hay while sun's shining.
100%. For the most part, it has single filed out through most of the field, which is kind of interesting to see. looks like a lot of these guys have the long run in mind. They don't want to push it too hard. They know that it'll bite them back if they do.
219 laps. I don't know what else would be on their mind. I mean, this is definitely one of these races where you got to be around here at the end of the stages, both of them, and you're going to be, it's going to be interesting to see how many guys are around at the end of this thing. Josh Schaffner, though, definitely proving that he is the car to beat, as he has pretty much been out front and he has been leading for the majority of the contest. Matt DeCiani sporting him some new colors as well.
Yeah, I noticed that. Nice paint scheme there for DeCiani. Kind of got a white roof there. That's new.
Yeah, definitely. So good to see him with new paint. Randy Mullins now making a move. He is going to be trying to improve his position against Derek Heitman. Heitman's starting to fall back just a little bit in the field. Started in 4th place. He's actually been up, I do believe, as high as 3rd by now, but he is just kind of settling in, looks like.
Yeah, and I've heard a lot of good things about Randy Mullins this week. A lot of guys saying he's really fast in the A Opens. And you see his father, Darren Mullins, was making a move at the same exact time, essentially. I think getting around Al Kozlowski and J.C. Evans, as Al Kozlowski actually moved his way up into 8th. But yeah, Heitman's moving in the wrong direction. I'm seeing that right now. Looks a little tight on the exits, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but I'm not worried about it, though, because I think he's got a plan, and you'll notice how a lot of these guys are kind of advancing themselves in the pecking order, but he is just slowly kind of slipping back. Well, that's one of those things where I think he's just going to kind of wait and see if his tires come to him, really not trying to go out there and wear him out, but just kind of go out there and just run consistent fast laps.
Yeah, definitely. As you see Darren Mullins, I do believe, challenging right now against, I think, Chris Johnson, and it looks like he has gotten that pass completed. We do have a new leader, Matt DeCiani. Got about 6/10 on Josh Schaffner. Schaffner's got his hands full, though. He's got the the truly talented Abner Acosta right there behind him. Randy Mullins not far behind either. A little bit of a blink there from Randy Mullins.
Sorry, I actually didn't see DeCiani out in front of this thing. My relative was showing Schaffner as the first car.
Yeah, he had just taken the lead just a couple laps ago. So I think he just, because Schaffner was in the lead for quite a bit there, but I think Matt DeCiani saw a little bit of an opportunity and just jumped after it.
Yeah,
nothing like clean air.
He's starting to run away with it just a little bit. Going to be extending his lead out right now is some greater than 7/10 of a second, which is good. But Schaffner now got his hands a little bit full. It looks like that's going to be Abner Acosta going to be doing business down with the corn man inside.
It's so hard to pass, though, on the bottom at this racetrack. I mean, you see Abner gets underneath the 50, but the 50 is able to get a run off the corner, unlike the bottom line can. So I think this is going to be a tough pass for Abner to make, and it could wear those tires out quite a bit. One thing that's kind of surprising, Big Al, second place in the points right now, Don Avery, is all the way back in 17th right now.
Is that you?
I mean, it don't worry me. I think it worries Don Avery. It probably a little worrisome, just considering, I mean, he needs to be on it right now. He's not far back from the points leader of DeCiani. As here comes Abner once again to the inside.
No, Avery kind of started this thing in 15th. He didn't qualify, so I'm not sure if he doesn't have a good setup or if he's just kind of relaxing a little bit. But, man, Abner Acosta definitely, he's really letting Josh Schaffner know that he is available. Schaffner's, I mean, his whole calendar is booked up, so if you're trying to get in contact with him, he's got Abner Acosta all day today, because that's what's happening there.
Yeah, there ain't no getting him. Cancel all my meetings, Sharon. I got Abner Acosta.
Yeah, he's got Abner Acosta today.
100%. Matt DeCiani probably loving this, though, because, I mean, he's starting to be able to drive away. Schaffner trying to hold on to that, 5th position. This is also help, or that 2nd position. This is also helping out Randy Mullins. I mean, he's able to just kind of watch this. Watch and learn. That's the biggest thing about this racetrack. Just chill. Watch these guys. If you can see them, you can pass them later.
Yeah, and I don't know how much time Acosta and Schaffner have actually spent racing against each other. I know Schaffner was kind of on a hiatus for a while, and that might have been the time where Abner was having his heyday. But we'll just have to see as he is still on the inside. Looks like he's finally going to get that pass completed now. He's going to get a nose just around Schaffner. Schaffner's going to fall back to 3rd.
That was a slide job if I ever seen one. I mean, he just barely got clear and was able to slide right up in front of the 50. So great job from Abner Acosta, battling side by side behind these guys is Derek Heitman and I do believe Darren Mullen.
Yeah, Heitman seems to be trying to get his momentum or his legs back underneath him so he can kind of get back out to the front. Seems to be on a little bit of a tear right now, Brian. Everybody's cars are, like you said, they were going to go away, come back in. I think people are kind of getting lined up a little bit, maybe just getting through the tightness and actually getting a drivable car.
Yeah, you got to definitely get the temperatures up to the right level here. Abner Acosta, though, once he got by Josh Schaffner, he's chasing down DeCiani now. DeCiani was out to almost, he was over a second away, and now no longer, only 0.6 as Abner starts to cut into his lead. Randy Mullins now side by side with Josh Schaffner.
Schaffner's making everybody pass him on the inside, so he is definitely establishing himself in that high dominant line. And if you want to get around him, I guess you're going to have to get under him, Brian.
Yeah, you're going to have to try to muscle your way because it's not easy to pass on the bottom. It's so hard to carry the momentum on the exits. You see that Randy Mullins tries to back it up. That's the only really way you're able to pass on the bottom. You have to back it up, and lose it on the entry a little bit, but gain everything you can on the exits.
Yeah, and I think just that, though. Ooh, looks like Chris Johnson getting a little tight there onto the back of Darren Mullins.
Yeah, Darren Mullins has made a huge run up to the 6th place position, but I think he might have burned the tires up a little bit. I think that he made it past all these guys, and now they're right back to him. Same thing could be said for Al Keselowski. Al Keselowski got by Kenny Powell. Now Powell's going back by him.
Keselowski's gonna wear the brakes off of that bad boy. That's his signature move. Watch me roast the tires. What do you expect? It's early on, though, not even halfway through the first stage. Everybody's kind of figuring it out, though, Brian, and I think that's what it's going to take here tonight. You're going to have to get out there and run the laps, baby.
100%. Take a look through Kenny Powell, his cockpit camera. Getting a little bit tight off the exit there. Now, this is a track where you want to brake. Kind of use a little bit of a trail brake at this place. Just a smidge of brake to kind of get that nose set, and then you try to power off as best you can. But this is a track where you want to almost imagine it like you have an egg underneath that gas pedal. You push it too hard, too quickly, you're going to find yourself spinning out or hitting the wall.
Yeah, I think Powell just needs a break right now, though. He has got his hands full. Greg Wyszynski now actually pulling up to the back of the 64 of Darren Mullins. Mullins was actually all over the back of the 24, but he kind of got, I guess I'd say he got a little bit tight, and that kind of caused him to kind of fall back a little bit. Matt DeCiani doing everything that he needs to do to get her done.
Yeah, he is trying to hold off Abner Acosta. Abner Acosta last time by scored as the leader as he's using the top side to try to get around. Now, this is the way to pass here at Iowa. Use that top side to build momentum. So DeCiani probably made a big mistake by even letting Abner get up there. As you can see, I think he's gotten the pass completed. So new leader, Abner Acosta. Randy Mullins now working on Derek Heitman once again.
Abner Acosta is going to be our third new leader of the race, and we are only on, I believe, lap 26. First stage scheduled for 45.
And there's battling all over this racetrack. You were talking about Greg Wyszynski and that Farmer's paint scheme. New scheme for him as well. This must be the night of new schemes. As we see the 77 also in a different scheme. Ryan Strunk, he's now side by side with Mark Sanchez.
Ooh, like he's driving that old Haviland Star.
That's a throwback right there. It's a little bit of a loose condition for the 77.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
That's a throwback, that's for sure. But, love all these different paint schemes we're seeing here tonight. It looks like Ryan Strunk starting to fall back the wrong way here as J.C. Evans tries to get underneath him. Of course, this is for that 11th and 12th place position. I'm surprised we're not seeing more out of Brian Johnson right now. Maybe he hasn't played his cards yet because I know he's fast.
It's early, bud. These guys are doing exactly what I'd be doing because you got two choices. You can be fast early, or you can be consistent late. And I think the guys that were fast early are going to find themselves looking for a prom date here. They're going to be kind of left out there on the dance floor, if you will, because the guys that were actually saving and conservative, they're going to sneak their way on back up through the field here, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right. No, I mean 100%. I mean, one of the things I saw in a lot of the A Opens that the guys that won the races were 4/10 slower on the short run. Like their lap times were really slow in the beginning, but they were able to pull away late because they had stuff left. I mean, it's just like burning
Yeah.
up that eraser. They still had it left.
Yeah, Strunk now is starting to kind of get his legs back underneath him. He is battling with Brian Johnson. This battle right here is going to be for 11th place. Now remember,
Clean.
only that transfer line is going to be right there at P10, Brian. So
Good
all
point.
of those top 10 positions pay points.
Yeah, that is a very good point. As we have now, I do believe, 15 laps to go here in this stage. Of course, the stage will be concluded on lap 45. So all these guys are battling for exactly that, points. I mean, you got Mark Sanchez. He's wanting to hold on to 10th as best as he can. He wants to even probably better that position. But I know Brian Johnson wanting to do a little bit different here as he is all over the back of that 29 trying to get to that 10th spot. Abner Acosta now almost out to a second lead right now over DeCiani.
Well, for any of these guys that hadn't had the privilege of racing with or making the acquaintance of Abner Acosta, I think he will definitely say hello tonight at least.
Yeah, he definitely, because he's an unknown. I can't talk. He's an unknown in the Thursday series. Like these guys, they don't know who he is. I mean, now the guys that race on Saturday also definitely know who he is and probably have warned the rest of them, like, hey, watch out for this guy. He's fast.
Well, I know probably remember, Jose made an impact there on a Thursday night debut. I believe we were at Pocono, if my memory serves me correctly, and he kind of introduced himself to the entire field.
Yeah, that he did. So, I mean, if Jose's listening, and I'm sorry about this, but I don't think having that Acosta last name it necessarily sparks too much confidence. But Abner is the difference. I mean, I swear, I feel like Jose and Abner are like yin and yang.
Yeah, but Jose is a good.
He's a good driver. He's gotten so much better. I think his aggression level has tapered down, and he's shown a lot of consistency as of late. So if you're listening, Jose, we're just playing with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Green flag racing continues. Looks like we got 10 laps to go here in this stage. Paul Ocean is going to be that last car on the lead lap. Looks like Don Avery, our second place in the points, has slowly made it up to P15, so his delta's a 0. That's where he started. Don't know if he's going to have enough to kind of catch J.C. Evans, and definitely don't think he'll make it to the top 10 here, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Avery. I think that they missed the mark. I don't know what's going on here with this 11, but usually these guys unload and they're so fast. That whole Sousa group triad. So I'm guaranteeing you because I'm pretty sure I saw Sousa in their channel. So I feel like Sousa's probably working on this right now. He's probably laying in a bunch of adjustments on that 11 car.
Yeah, you think maybe he might have left his paw set on?
That even could be a possibility. I mean, very well, but I mean, he didn't qualify. That makes me think that maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know.
Definitely up in the air. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to talk to him at some point and see what's going on with that camp. If this is all according to plan or whatnot.
Yeah, definitely.
The 54, though, I'll tell you what, the 54 and the 76 have been battling this entire race for that fourth place position, and Randy getting real close to that 76. I'm telling you, these guys are getting ready to get a little too close for comfort. I'm telling you, these guys, what is it called, a PDA, public display of affection. I think that's what they're kind of got going on right now.
Well, the frustration level is when you got cars that are this close together speed-wise, and I think a lot of these guys really, they put the time in. Paul Ocean now going to be going down pit road. I think he's just probably trying to get out of the way. But I think a lot of these guys, being so tight like that, you're going to get frustrated. It's going to happen because you're right there and you just can't pass them. You know what I mean? It's kind of being in traffic and like, you finally get around the guy. The next thing you know, you come out of a red light and he gets right by you again. And you're like, what the heck?
You're exactly right. I mean, it is a frustrating thing, especially at this track. I mean, we've seen it already, how hard it is to pass on the bottom. I mean, Mullins could feel like he's all day faster than Derek Heitman, but it's not that simple.
I know. Catching them here, one thing. Passing them, something a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, you can catch
And
him fairly easy.
And it looks like that consistency-wise, these guys were all running pretty close together. Powell's really kind of falling back a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm surprised. I mean, Powell is doing well here tonight. Of course, he looking to get some more points. I think he was 5th in the points, about 23 back from DeCiani. So he's really looking to get some points here tonight. And I know he was confident. I mean, I talked to him last night, over the last few nights, and he had that Kenny Powell special. I know that he was running a setup that was provided by a setup shop, but he made his own kind of adjustments to it and made it better. And you know, I think he's confident. It's just gonna be all about execution for that 24 team.
It is for everybody. I mean, like we said, we're still early on into this, man. But coming up here at the end of this stage, I do believe will be 2 laps left at the line.
Yeah, for sure. And still not settled. I mean, Schaffner's right there on DeCiani. I mean, positions could change here. But I think Abner Acosta is safe to say probably has won this stage.
Yeah, Abner only having to make a couple more turns at it before he could actually put himself down in the books as a Stage 1 winner. Josh Schaffner definitely, though, trying to reel in DeCiani. Good to see that Schaffner only fell back so far and that he is still actually being able to put the screws to it here at the end of this stage. He's still showing consistency and speed, and that's a good thing.
No, I think that's exactly what Schaffner's trying to do here. I don't think he's trying to win stages. I think that he's going to be dangerous when it comes to that final stage. That's going to be some of the longest runs we're going to have all night. I mean, that stage is over 100-something laps. I mean, of course, these guys can make it 100 laps, which makes me think. I mean, it's going to be some of the longest runs, and I think Schaffner's the one to watch when it comes to stuff like that. And there it is, the yellow flag. Stage 1 is in the books. Abner Acosta, your Stage 1 winner. Matt DeCiani, 2nd. Josh Schaffner in 3rd. Derek Heitman, 4th. Randy Mullins, 5th. Chris Johnson in 6th. Kenny Powell, 7th. 8th, Greg Wachinski. 9th, Brian Johnson. And rounding out our top 10 is Darren Mullins. All these guys going to be getting some much-needed points here. Let's take a brief step away. We'll be right back, and we'll hopefully talk to our Stage 1 winner.
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms, from camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgotten.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
There, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I'm so comfortable, bro. We get a hug. What have you done here?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Abner Acosta winning the race off of pit road. Josh Schaffner able to get his position up over Matt DeCiani. Of course, I do believe we're going to talk to, we weren't able to reach Abner Acosta. I think we're going to talk to Don Avery, see what's going on with his race. Don Avery, do we got you?
Yes, sir. You got me?
Yes, sir, we do. Glad to talk to you. Usually we talk to people that are closer to the front. We figured we'd talk to you and see what's going on. What happened with the car? Did you guys unload the wrong setup or maybe working on it right now, or is this all according to plan?
We're working on it. We decided to start in the back just so I could get a feel for the car. Made a bunch of changes. Jeffrey was helping me out in practice to try to get some longer speed out of the car. And so, yeah, we've just been hanging around in the back. I dropped back fairly far there, just taking it easy, seeing how much I can catch up later on. I'm not sure if Jeffrey made any changes or not, but we'll see, and hopefully we can move a little further forward this time.
Yeah, we had a sneaking suspicion that Souza was kind of behind the acting as a crew chief here tonight. I know I saw you guys kind of hanging out. Hopefully he's able to make some good adjustments. We were kind of curious, because you're second place in the points right now. We thought you'd unload a little bit better here tonight, but hopefully you have some better luck as the race goes on, and hopefully he's able to make some good adjustments to that race car. What are some of the challenges that you think you're facing right now?
That's I'm not exactly sure what to tell them to do on the setups. The car feels balanced. Just trying to figure out some short run speed and still be able to stay up near the front on the later end of the run.
Yeah, well, definitely seems like a work in progress. We wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we'll see you and get to talk to you the more natural way up towards the front here later. Don, who could give a shout out before we let you get back to it? I know you guys are getting ready to go back green.
Triad, my wife Sherry. Hey Sherry, you guys up in the booth, Kenny for putting all this on, Jeffrey Souza for sitting on the box for me tonight, Stan Analyzer, and Souza Media.
All right, well, good luck to you, Don. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, guys.
All righty, that was Don Avery, driver of the 11 machine. Pace car lights are out. We're getting ready to get this thing back underway again as we start stage number 2. Now, of course, this one goes to lap 100. As there goes the pace car. Green flag is waving once again. Abner Acosta getting a pretty good restart there. Gets quite clear already. As here comes, I do believe, Derek Heitman going to try to steal second away from Schaffner.
I'm going to tell you who didn't get a good start, and that would have been the 29 of Mr. Sanchez. Definitely kind of got, maybe his foot was off on the wrong pedal there on the start. That kind of caused a little bit of a checkup condition behind him, but everybody's working it out now.
Yeah, definitely. You got to be real careful on the restarts here. Of course, we've seen it a whole lot as of late. Guys spinning tires, even on new tires. Definitely something that can happen, or possibly, like you said, maybe he just was not prepared for that green flag to come out. You got to be focused. This is, even under caution laps, you got to be focused, Big Al.
Yeah, these guys are going to battle a lot harder earlier here now because they understand that the validity of track positions to be a lot easier to make those passes when those tires.
Whoa! Schaffner sideways off the bumper of DeCiani.
Oh, he pedaled through it for the most part. Caution's going to come out. He got hit 3 or 4 times. Just
off the bumper of DeCiani there too.
Looked like more like a ping pong ball there. But yeah, that was just a matter of guys not actually getting checked up going through the turns. And you'll see when Schaffner he had a good run. Mullins just can't get out of it fast enough, I guess.
Yeah, kind of see exactly what happened. You see DeCiani kind of goes low, and Schaffner not expecting him to go low. I feel like if I was to say that was on anybody, I think that's on Schaffner. I feel like DeCiani had the nose, tried to get underneath him, and Schaffner tried to come down and do a late block, and it just did not work.
And a good thing, though, nobody received any major damage, so these guys will all actually be able to carry on and continue, man. Just unfortunate set of circumstances right there. That's going to kind of level this stage out a little bit, though, Brian. It's going to make it feel more like that first stage. So it won't be the longest stage that these guys are going to run here tonight.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I'm sorry.
To the cockpit camera here. As you see, look at that. I think that was easily a racing deal. I know DeCiani and Schaffner probably just both happy that they didn't get meatballs, and I'm surprised they didn't. Considering Schaffner had multiple instances of contact there.
Yeah, he kind of got beat up pretty good. DeCiani, Schaffner, and Strunk all down on pit road. Strunk's still down, spending the most time in the box, getting what we would assume to be damage repaired. Hopefully those guys had the foresight to actually uncheck those tires. Don't want to have any, you're going to need those tires a little bit later on. That's a whole nother option that you don't want to have, taken away from you.
Yeah, tires definitely are like gold here at Iowa.
Ron Strunk off and away now. He is going to be making his way back out, which means everybody should have had their damage repaired. So, we got 2 thumbs up on that, hopefully, and we'll be able to get back to green flag racing. That's really going to change things up, though, for Schaffner as well as DeCiani, is because now these guys who once were in the front now are going to find themselves in the back. And I don't know if that maybe is going to cause a little bit of shock and awe throughout the group, because there's that accident has been looking for a place to happen here for quite a while, Brian.
Yeah, I think we're not done with the accidents here tonight. I mean, Iowa is a kind of place where if you got faster drivers that are behind slower cars, a lot of times it can go poorly, for sure. We'll have to wait and see how that kind of all works out. But you're right, that is going to change a lot. I mean, Schaffner was up in third. DeCiani was up in the top 5. I mean, Schaffner started on the pole in this race and now finds himself in 15th with DeCiani in 16th. So that is quite a drop for sure. Both of those drivers really heavily impacted by that. I mean, usually you see an accident like that happen. One driver's kind of gets the lucky lottery ticket win, you know what I mean, and doesn't lose position. But both of those guys equally lost position.
And they both actually had to go down pit road, unfortunately, because, I mean, talk about taking a ride in the tumble cycle. I mean, they were spinning. So
almost had it saved, though. Schaffner almost had it saved.
Oh, yeah. He did. He actually did save it from the first wreck, but then the second wreck happened.
Yeah.
You know, but unfortunately for him, he was a pivot man in both of those incidents.
100%. Of course, Abner Acosta still your leader, as I do believe pace car lights have gone out. We're getting ready to get this thing back underway as we've had our first caution based on an accident here tonight. Acosta definitely not going to want the same fate for himself. I wouldn't want to. Yeah, I don't want to drop back any too far in this field here. Just considering everybody's going to be clinging on these positions for dear life. It's going to be so hard to make passes.
And that field is really kind of spread out right now. It's starting to get organized, but still not yet, though, especially towards the back. As Abner's through the Geico restart zone, and off and away he goes.
Great restart there for Abner. He's had a lot of, I'd say he's had a lot of practice restarting from the lead, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Don Avery is starting to try to get his legs underneath him on the inside, but here comes J.C. Evans. Evans high going around Brian Johnson in the 4. Side-by-side racing continues all the way from, I believe, to be 4th and 5th.
Yeah, big battling going on. Love this track, though. The way you have to run this place. I mean, you want to get your priority at this place is getting a good exit on turn 4. Because you want to be almost like an inch off that wall, because the way it's kind of a concave, curved shape on the front stretch. You really want to maximize that real estate. I'll tell you who's maximizing real estate right now, though. Derek Heitman. He is all over the back of Abner Acosta right now. Randy Mullins. Fantastic showing here so far tonight. Tell you what, these guys have brought it. I don't know what happened. Last week, I think this is a totally different set of guys right here. These guys all are very equal. They put a lot of work in to the race car this week.
Racing left to go, though, as Al Kozlowski kind of gets the run in on the 64. Darren Mullins had to check up a little bit, and that's one thing you'll see a lot of these drivers losing a lot of momentum, Brian. They're getting great drive off into the corner, but either they're having to check up or wreck up, so that's actually causing them to kind of lose that on the drive off. But it seems that it kind of evens itself out, though, overall, as Kozlowski dives deep down on the inside of the 64. 64, look at the amount of drive-off that he's getting, though. He's going to try to cross over on the 24 pile. Just don't think that's not going to be as smooth, because that's actually going to slow him down a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're right. And it gets a little tight there. This is definitely the track where you're trying to drive that bottom and you try to get, because, of course, when you're on the bottom, you're trying to get the best drive off you can to get the pass completed. Oh, as Kenny Powell bump drafts the 64 through 1 and 2 there.
Yeah, I think he just kind of let off the brakes a little bit and just let it roll.
I don't think Kenny Powell's done yet with the 64. Side by side, though, J.C. Evans and Al Kozlowski right there behind him, battling for that 8th and 9th position. Abner Acosta, though, is the leader. I don't think he's ever going to give that lead back. That 44, once you give him the lead, you ain't getting it back. We'll have to wait and see, though. Does Derek Heitman have an ace up his sleeve? Matthew McMeekin worked his way up into the top 10 for the first time here tonight. That 44 didn't look very fast in stage number 1, but it looks like he has gotten it together in that Mobil 1 machine.
It's still early, though. This is the time of the stage where everybody's fastest. We've only gone 15 laps now. And now, 3 of those was under caution as well. So Give it about another 10 laps, and then I think we're going to start to see that beast rear its ugly head once again.
Yeah,
Derek
100%.
Hyten having his hands full as Mr. Randy Mullins is going to be trying to get down on around him on the inside.
Yeah, I think Randy Mullins, I think he's got the speed. If Abner wasn't here, I think Randy Mullins has got a chance to win this race. I mean, the 54 is looking really good. And he's been battling with the 76 all race long. And even on the long run, I mean, usually we are used to seeing, Big Al, I don't know, tell me if you don't agree with this, we're used to seeing Randy Mullins being fast on the short run. We're not used to seeing him good on the long run. I think this is a different Randy Mullins tonight.
I think yeah, I agree. But
He
every
looks
track's
really good.
Yeah, every track's different as well, though. Some drivers do better at certain tracks.
I mean, I'd say I'm a perfect example of that. I feel like I'm fairly competent at Iowa, but if you see me at any other track, yeah, you better be worried.
Yeah, the only thing the problem that Mullins is having right now is he can't get around Heitman, and so that is taking light years off his tires. Number one.
I mean, both of them are keeping right up there with Abner, but I think that's according to plan. Abner's a lot like a lot of the other drivers that we see in this series, to where he kind of maintains the gap. He's not trying to build it; he's just maintaining.
Yeah, what's the point of going out there running away from these guys, just setting yourself up for more problems when you can just kind of stay there, stay consistent, and keep them right there off for your 6? I mean, I think it's great.
24 Kenny Powell having to deal with the 41 of Matthew McMeekin. Looks like he's able to get that pass completed. He's now up into the 7th place position. Here comes Al Kozlowski to the inside. He's going to get tight. Oh, this is going to be a close one. They almost touched there, and they will touch. This is, Al, if you're listening here, calm down, bud.
Well, no, apparently McMeekin didn't get the McMemo that, you got to watch out for the Kozlowski.
Oh, my God, the McMemo. I'll tell you what, Big Al, you deserve an award. I think that was probably the funniest thing you've ever said.
Well, I'm just saying, it's Al Kozlowski. If you don't know who this guy is by now, I mean.
If you don't know, now you know.
You'll find yourself in the infield care center.
He said it plenty of times.
Let him go.
I mean, he has said it. He will use that. I mean, that car looks chrome, and he makes it look chrome, too, with the way he drives it.
Absolutely.
Abner Cosado sailing away right now. As you see, Derek Heitman still trying to hold on to second, as Randy Mullins made a really big he tried to make a move to the inside of Heitman. I mean, he's been going to the inside almost every lap, but I think Heitman's trying to cut that momentum off and take his line away.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think the definition is blocking. Is that ringing a bell?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I mean, he's driving out of the mirror, I'd say.
And he is well within his rights to run this race and to run this line. But I'm going to say, with the frustration on this track, it's just going to be a matter of time before he might catch a bumper.
Yeah, for sure. You're 100% right. That could very well happen. I mean, this is, especially how long this race is, things that are happening right now, these guys are probably cool, calm, and collected. But we still got so much race to go that by lap 218, Big Al, I mean, you start blocking, you ain't going to make it out of the next corner. I mean, that's just the way it is. When you got 200-something laps underneath you, you're going to be so aggravated and tired and exhausted. You're going to make the wrong decision. You're going to see red when someone does you wrong. You know what I mean? And you're going to remember what happened earlier in the race. What a race, though, for Greg Wachinski. Up into 5th now. Awesome job from him. Haven't really had a chance to talk a whole lot about that 5 car, but of course in a new paint scheme there, Farmers Insurance. So definitely, I do believe he's actually an employee there, or actually sells Farmers Insurance. So love to see that, repping his business as he's trying to work his way closer and closer to Chris Johnson there.
Well, they know a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
100%. I mean, you got Darren Mullins, though, right there. I would assume Randy and Darren running very similar setups, and you can see that they're very quick.
Kozlowski pit road.
Al Kozlowski now coming off of pit road. Oh, actually, he's coming to a stop here down on the apron, slowly rolling. Something must have happened here. Let's take a quick replay, Big Al. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. He might have got McMeekened.
Might have been contact with the wall, perhaps. Very easy to happen here at Iowa. As he was following along with Kenny Powell, was running in that 8th place position, and boom, there it is. And it could have been, let's take a look. Is it a meatball, Big Al?
It is not.
I think he might just be frustrated.
Yeah, I definitely could see the frustration there because that's not going to be a good race for him at all.
Oh, and look at the race going on right now for 2nd place. Randy Mullins and Derek Heitman are battling tooth and nail. This is the definition of a battle as Randy Mullins tries to get the run on the inside.
And it's bless his heart, it's just eating his tires up. Kozlowski down and away, he'll be coming back onto the race surface.
2 laps down.
Yeah, done.
Look at Mullins go, though. You're right. I think he's pushing it a little too hard, but you can tell he's desperate to take this spot away. I mean, he's like, I've been battling with this 76 every lap. I need to get away from him.
Yeah, I definitely, you can feel the frustration.
And it's going to build. I mean, that's one of these things about this track. It's not even just the physical labor you're having to put in to drive around this place. It's the mental. I mean, when these guys reach, like I said, that plus 200 laps, that these guys have been out here on this track, they're gonna make decisions that are not necessarily rational, and you can see why. Oh, contact between the 54 and the 76.
That was just, I mean, who didn't see that coming? I don't think they're done yet either. I mean, these guys
I don't think so. Could be an early Christmas present, though, for Chris Johnson here if he plays his cards right.
But this is going to be detrimental to both of these guys, though, because they've worn each other out, and now they just still got the rest of the Wolfpack to contend with.
It just shows you how hard it is to pass and how frustrating it could be. I mean, when you're side by side with a guy for lap after lap after lap. I know there's a little contact to the rear end of the 76. Randy Mullins is trying to let that Derek Heitman know he's there. He's like, hey, man, you better get out of the way or something's getting ready to happen. And I think something might happen here as we're having 15 laps to go here when we cross the line this time by. Abner, you can see this is actually playing a big role in the way the standings look right now. Abner Acosta over 1.5 seconds out right now. He's pulling away.
Yeah, and his name's not even on the board. So, I mean, Josh Schaffner has made his way up to P11, but he is still outside of the points. And right behind him, 2 positions later, Don Avery is back in 14th. So somebody's getting paid, and somebody's just really not making it. It's just one of those things where this could have went so many different ways, but tonight it's just being kind of served up as a suck.
And you see DeCiani. I mean, you got to think, DeCiani and Schaffner had an accident not too long ago, and they remember that. They're keeping that in the back pocket in their memory banks as they still have to race each other here. But, yeah, I mean, I think that the proof is in the pudding, though, with Don Avery. I think that something's wrong. I don't think they unloaded the right car.
Well, he said they were making adjustments, and, that's fine when you're making adjustments in practice, but this is a long race. So, now he is riding that Sousa short bus, so I'm sure they'll be able to figure something out with Stint Analyzer and all of the other tools that they do have to use.
Yeah, this is uncharacteristic, or, it's not what they usually unload. Usually these guys unload really, really fast cars that can compete with the best of the best. So I just feel like it might have just been a misstep this week.
No. Remember what Avery said. He was looking for long run speed. That's what he's been looking for. So I think he's, now is about the time where he's probably going to put the hammer down and see if he can kind of reel some of these guys in. I don't know, man. But I always know that these guys they're capable. Matt DeCiani now coming on the inside of the 77 of Ryan Strunk. That's going to put DeCiani up into those points paying positions.
Yeah, definitely a good run for DeCiani. Good recovery, and this is what he needs right now. Looking at lap times, I mean, Abner, of course, the fastest driver on the track.
Powell sideways
big problems.
into Darren Mullins. Darren Mullins, Kenny Powell, major contact.
Big wreck there. That's going to bring the caution out.
Nobody gets a meatball. But, yeah, you definitely going to want to look at that one again. Now it's decision time, too, guys. This is going to change things up even more.
Yeah, 100%. No, you're right. I mean, this is going to be, do you take tires here and try to win the race, the stage way, Oh,
Mullins.
I think Mullins just turned him. I mean, man, let's take another look at that.
But Mullins actually got the worst end of the deal. You know? It seems like he just took his foot off for the brake, kind of. He's there on the inside. Powell kind of... No, really, Powell did kind of come down on the inside there.
Oh, yeah. Now, he got the worst of it. I think you're right. He hit that thing straight on into the outside wall.
And there it is. Now they have served up our flapjacks. And man, I don't know if I like what I'm getting served here. It's wild. Half the field is down on pit road. The other half has stayed out. On pit road looks like the likes of Matt DeCiani and Strunk.
Now imagine this though. I mean, we were looking at lap times, Big Al. 25-second laps. These guys were hitting 25-second laps, Big Al. And if you take tires, they're going to be hitting 23.9s, 24 flats. I mean, that's a second or more faster than what these guys are doing on 45-lap old tires. So we're going to see some guys moving really fast up through this field if they took tires.
Well, what you're going to see is you're going to see that dude hit that dude, and then that dude right there going to hit the wall. I mean, that's what you're going to see because you got to think about this. This is great. I'm glad you got fresh tires. Awesome. That'll work out for you in the next round because you're still not going to be able to make those passes, man.
I don't know. I think that they will be able to make the passes, but I kind of get what you're kind of throwing out there about the difference in momentum that these guys are going to have. It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be dangerous.
That's a lot of passes to make. I mean, because you think about it, you got 10 cars stayed out. 10 cars stayed out. We only had 18 in the field. Keselowski was a lap down. I mean, so that means not even half of the field pitted.
I mean, Kenny Powell, involved in an accident, stayed out.
I wouldn't have came in. I mean, track position here in Iowa is more important than anything else. Track position trumps fresh tires, I think.
We'll have to wait and see. I think we're getting ready to have our question answered here in a moment. I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's fresh tires. We're going to see some guys flying through this field, but I don't know if they're going to have enough time to get up to the front of Abner. And I think Abner's hoping that there's enough cushion behind him to keep those guys on fresh tires exactly that behind him.
Yeah, I bet he's about to piss his fire suit. I mean, he's probably so scared. Really? No, I don't think so. I think he's fine.
Well, the question is also, these guys are on older tires, Big Al. I mean, we've seen wheel spin at a lot of different tracks this season when you're on these kind of old tires. I mean, 45 laps, that's nothing to scoff at. I mean, that's a lot of 45, tire wear.
Where are you seeing 45? I mean, these guys 48 when they come across the line. And that's not even to the start. So by the time they get ready to start this thing, they're up to 50 laps on this set of Goodyears.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, there's a big chance that we see some guys spin out on the start.
And the restarts here have been sketchy at best. I mean, you've known that. I mean, this track here, I mean, we got it. Abner, he's doing his thing. He's playing it like a fiddle. But when it comes time to restart, some of these guys are getting a little sketchy, man. I'm just thinking you need to hide your kids, hide your wives on this one, on this restart.
They reckon everybody out here.
They reckon everybody.
And, of course, pace car lights have gone out. I do believe we're going to have a 4-lap shootout to the end of this stage. 4
Who
laps,
said
not a lot of time.
Who said this race wasn't going to be exciting?
Oh, it's been exciting. I'd say it's been exciting all race long. And we appreciate everybody out there tuning in for sure. We're having a ball up here at Iowa.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe you got me in Iowa.
It's a lovely day here at Iowa, though. Definitely excited to be here. Wonder what's going to happen. I mean, that's why I'm sitting on the edge of my seat, not sure what is going to take place here. As we enter turn 3, pace car is going to get prepared to go down pit road and let these guys have at it once again.
Woohoo!
And there goes the pace car. And Abner's going to get the green flag waving. Ooh, and wow, good job for everybody there. I expected a lot more wheel spin.
Yeah, but not everybody did get off free and clear and fast and clean. Still got a lot of things going on here on the racetrack, man, as Matt DeCiani is trying to make his way through. Now, Kenny Powell and Josh Schaffner are kind of stacked up side by side. Schaffner elected not to pit as well. But here come the fresh tires. This is where the oil mixes with the water. DeCiani kind of stuck. I think he's going to probably try to make it 3 wide here, Brian.
That's his only option. That's one of the things that's bad about it. Oh, problem for Abner Acosta. Big contact. Oh, and Mark Sanchez involved. That is going to conclude this stage.
Yeah,
what just happened?
Somebody came up short at the register. Wow.
Not sure what just happened with Abner, as he was the leader, and all of a sudden, he was no longer the leader. I'm wondering if maybe some contact here. You see Heitman's right there, very close. Should be coming up on the accident here soon. Yeah, I think Heitman just got into the rear end, just ever so slightly, sent him around.
They were over the line, and then he gets plowed into by Greg Wachinski, and then hit again by Mr. Sanchez. So Abner totally just getting, I mean, man, they beat him up and took his lunch money.
Take a look back at this here from a different camera angle. And I think that, I'm not sure who won that stage, to be honest with you, because of this.
Oh.
To be honest, I'm not sure who won the stage here. I think it might have been Randy Mullins. So a little confusion there with that caution so late. I mean, that always throws a wrench into everything, but I think Matt DeCiani has decided to stay out. Everybody else taking it on down pit road to grab some fresh tires.
Ryan Strunk stayed out.
Yeah, Ryan Strunk did. Yeah, you're right.
Darren Mullins stayed out. You know, all of those guys that pitted, now they're out. But, you know, congratulations to them. They got 7 laps longer on their tires. I mean, it's good for us, because if this thing does stay green, what we're going to get is we're going to get to see different pit cycles, you know, which is always awesome.
Well, Big Al, I mean, I don't think we got enough time for a commercial here. Who do you want to talk to?
And I'm sick of talking.
Maybe Derek Heitman involved in that accident. Maybe see what he saw.
Yeah. I think Heitman's probably waiting on the caution to come out. But Abner probably lifted because he expected the stage to be over, is what I believe happened. You know, we'll pull Heitman up. Hey, Mr. Heitman, this Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
I sure do.
Hey, so could you care to share about what just took place, what we witnessed?
I was looking to go high on him, and I was staying high on entry, and I expected him to go low, but I think he was expecting me to go low, and then he braked, and I was going to drive it in deeper, and I unfortunately ran in the back of him, so I was just sitting here trying to give him my apologies and making sure he's all right.
Oh, it's an unfortunate set of circumstances there. But that's what happens here with racing. Looks like you got yourself a hot rod though, man. And this is a little bit of a longer race. So where is that car fastest? Is it faster on the shorter runs, or you kind of faster on those longer runs?
I prefer the long runs personally. I just try to take care of the tires on the short run and see where we can wind up at the end.
Track position, is that something that's important here, or maybe not so much?
I mean, I'd say it's definitely important. The clean air is important, and once you get quite a few laps on the tires, it becomes really difficult to pass. Got to be patient and set it up.
Yeah, I think Randy Mullins was probably feeling a little bit at the end of his wits there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that great race between you two guys, and it is what it is. But yeah, you weren't making it easy, right?
I was just trying to hold position, and caution came out and jacked everything up for a couple people, including myself. So.
All right, but I understand you got to get back to it before we let you go here. Who are you going to shout out here before we get back to racing?
Shout out Michael Conti. Shout out my girlfriend for standing behind me and waiting for me to get done with this interview so I could say goodnight to her. But shout out to the guys at the shop, my teammate Matt, all the above.
All right, sir. Well, thank you very much, and get back at it, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon. And you're going back to MMR, right?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, that was Derek Heitman. He's right now running in 6th place. Been a really good points day for that driver here. As Matt DeCiani is going to lead us there to green. Pace car is going to be heading on down pit road, and the green flag will be out once again. DeCiani on a little bit older tires here. A lot of these guys stayed out. Of course, not too much wear on the tires. I mean, only had a couple laps, really, Big Al.
Yeah, Heitman, though, definitely feeling his oats there on that restart as he is trying to get around. I believe that is the 41 of McMeekin.
Yeah, almost a 3-wide condition. It is a 3-wide condition. Is Greg Wachinski in the middle. Randy Mullins taking advantage, and he's going to move his way up into 6th place. Here comes Kenny Powell. He's going to be trying to make his way up as well as he tries to best Matthew McMeekin.
And the odd thing about this is McMeekin was going slower, but he was taking the high line, and that kind of caused a little bit of confusion there because it was kind of like what happened towards on that last lap where you're kind of thinking that guy, what are you doing? Are you going to – and that was that situation. So a lot of drivers kind of crossed up. Here comes the 77 of Ryan Strunk. He's going to be challenging Matt DeCiani for the lead. And just like that, I believe we've got our 5th leader of the race here tonight, at least the 5th.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he can hold on to it. I know later in the run he started having some major handling issues. I'm hoping Ryan Strunken has gotten that worked out as he starts to pull away from DeCiani. We've seen this picture a lot of times before. I hate to say it, but I mean, we've seen Ryan Strunk take the lead and drive away, and then all of a sudden they're right back there on him again, and he's falling back. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's a pattern, and that's what we are as analysts. We recognize patterns.
I think it was last Thursday that we saw something like that happen. Don Avery takes the high line as he is trying to figure out the quickest way to get to the back, I do believe, at this point. I don't think I don't think he's comfortable being up front, for one thing. I don't think he's got the speed to be up front right now. I think they're still working some things out. As Randy Mullins now going to be battling right beside him. Come on, Don, wake me up. Show me up. Show me wrong.
That's right. Darren Mullins has been having a fantastic race, that's for sure. He's up into 3rd place. Had to see how long that lasts, though, as Heitman tries to go to the inside.
Well, remember, these guys that are up front right now, these are those guys that kind of stayed out. And Avery and McMeekin being the exception, they're the two that are kind of slipping back faster. But so far, Ryan Strunk, DeCiani, and Darren Mullins all out, because they actually pitted under that last caution prior to the stage break. But
I'm looking at the difference here. 7 laps difference between the guys that went in and guys that didn't.
Yeah, and Heitman's going to be your first driver that's actually out there on the fresher tires as we're officially halfway through this thing.
Yeah, this thing has been flying right on by. Of course, this is the final stage. This is going to be the long one, ladies and gentlemen. Still over 100 laps to go here. And, the fuel tank is 100 laps. That's about what you can make it on. So when do these guys come down? I assume if green flag pit stops were to take place at some point here tonight, I'm thinking maybe 140, 150. I think 150 probably where I'd come down.
I'm saying that you're going to, at this point.
Be longer? Yeah.
Man, they're going to be pressed to get there because they haven't run that long yet in a sequence. You know what I mean? So maybe that's when these cars do come alive, Brian.
Yeah. Depends on what kind of car and how you've been abusing it,
Yeah.
As Randy Mullins and Derek Heitman have been battling all race long. Heitman trying to hold off as he goes up to the top. Now going to be trying to fight with Randy's father, Darren. But Ryan Strunk, still your leader. He's holding on to it, but DeCiani, I think, is getting ready to change that.
Yeah, no matter how you flip the coin, man, you're going to lose on this one. You're going to have to make some tough decisions.
I don't know. I think Ryan's doing a good job of maintaining it. I don't think he did what he usually does. He usually just pulls away, drives off into the sunset, and then comes back to him. But this didn't look like that.
It's still early, though, as Heitman is trying everything he can to kind of get around the 64. He's finding himself actually almost in a Mullins sandwich, if you will, as Darren is up high and Dad's going to be coming in down low.
Oh, they're getting really close to one another. I'll tell you, Darren, very close to the 76.
And, and I'm wondering if Dad and son are talking and Dad's telling them, yeah, you stay right out there. Just stay high on him. Just wear his tires out.
That definitely could be the strategy, as Heitman is having a lot of problems trying to get this pass completed. It gets tight. These guys are almost touching in 1 and 2 here.
That's the hard place to pass, especially on the bottom. We saw the same thing play out with the elder of the Mullins earlier on.
Looks like Heitman does get clear here.
It's going to clear him for the pass.
That was a close one. I mean, you could tell that Heitman, in order to make that pass happen, you had to lean on him. He had to lean on Darren, and I think that's the kind of key here. How bad do you want it? It's going to be hard to pass on the bottom, and if you're not willing to lean on that guy, you're not going to pass him.
Absolutely, man. So the sun is slowly starting to set here in Iowa.
Yeah, I mean, I bet that's having a pretty marked effect on the temperature out there, Big Al.
Actually, we're just 1 degree cooler than we were at the start of this thing. The track temp right now is at 74 degrees or 75 when we started. So as far as that's going, I mean, the night light might definitely cause these cars to come alive and run a little bit faster.
That definitely could be the case. Abner Acosta, though, who was once your leader, now sits in 12th place as he tries to catch up to Josh Schaffner. We talked about the importance of track position as Ryan Strunk and Matt DeCiani battle for the lead.
What's interesting is Schaffner was your pole sitter, and right behind him on the start was Abner Acosta. So here these two are finding themselves in a very unique situation where they're 11th and 12th, and they're going to have to slowly work together to get through this field.
Almost some issues here as the battle for the lead heats up. Oh, Strunk into the outside wall. That is going to give DeCiani the lead. Heitman going to try to take advantage as he goes to the inside. Side by side right behind him, Randy and Darren, father and son, battling it out for that 4th place position.
We got 2 brothers, 2 others, and a father and son. You and I are the others.
Yeah. Here comes Greg Wychinski underneath Don Avery. 2 by 2, though, right now. Look at this.
Yeah, absolutely, though. And with 98 laps to go in this thing, this is what we're talking about. Strunk way off the pace there. He is going to slow way back. That's going to put Darren and Randy going to be in a peculiar situation as they're going to be trying to figure out how to navigate around the ailing 77.
Yeah, for sure. And they were side by side, the 54 and the 64. They were battling each other, but they kind of realized that, hey, we can't battle We can't. We got to get by this 77, and then we're going to resume our battle. As Greg Wychinski's definitely running some really good laps. I like what I'm seeing from that 5 machine. Definitely kind of a silent assassin here tonight, that Greg Wychinski. Didn't expect a whole lot from him here tonight, but I think he's definitely proven me a little bit wrong, you know. But Matt DeCiani, of course, he is the points leader. He's in the spot he wants to be. He's in the lead. And compared to Josh Schaffner, of course, them two were involved in an accident earlier. DeCiani's fared the best. I mean, he's up in the lead right now.
Trying to figure this pit strategy thing out, though, because that's what's going to get pretty complex. Is Al Koslowski down on pit road again?
%. It is definitely getting a lot more complex. Abner Acosta now up into the 10th place position. Josh Schaffner up into 8th as he tries to catch up there to Kenny Powell. Of course, J.C. Evans in the midst of this battle here. Definitely a good day for J.C. Evans. He's had some pretty good pace here tonight. Definitely been a top 10 car in that Oreo machine. I'll tell you what, he's the white stuff in the center of the Oreo right now between Abner Acosta and Josh Schaffner. But the battle is still on. The top 3 all within a second of each other as Randy Mullins tries to run down Derek Heitman. I'll tell you, I mean, I think that's the story of tonight's race, Big Al. It's been Heitman and Randy Mullins. I mean, they have magnets for each other here tonight.
Absolutely.
Ryan Strunk, though, has managed to hold on. He's sitting in that 4th place position. Now Greg Wychinski trying to get around Darren. And here goes Greg to the inside. Gets a good run on the exit of 4. And I think he might. No, he's not clear yet. Mullins able to get a good run on the exit. Can Greg Wychinski get this pass completed? I think he might have it here. Nope, still side by side. See, Josh Schaffner has just worked his way up into the 7th place position, getting around Kenny Powell. Abner Acosta also able to do the same as well. And it looks like the 5 of Greg Wychinski moves up into 5th place once again.
And just like that, Josh Schaffner and Abner Acosta slowly making their way back up to the front. And they're getting there just in time because, you know, they're going to have to figure out this pit strategy as we got 90 laps to go in this thing.
Yeah, 100%. These guys are about 30-something laps on their tires right now, so I'm sure this is that point where they're starting to feel it. But Josh Schaffner catching up quickly to Darren Mullins. Going to be entering into the top 6 here if he has his way to get around that 64. One thing to catch, another thing completely to pass, though, is seems like most of the drivers here tonight have been trying to pass on the bottom. I mean, I'm of the mind I would want to try to pass on the top, but a lot of these guys are not giving you that opportunity to do that.
Yeah, if you don't get the opportunity, no one's going to give you the high side. That's the problem. You know, it's the premier place to pass, but nobody's offering it up.
Yeah, 100%. Derek Heitman, though, has taken the lead.
Don Avery way off the pace, and I think he just disconnected.
Oh, no. I think you're right.
Yeah. Al Koslowski out of the race as well. Paul Olsen also withdrawn.
We do have a different leader now. Derek Heitman did get around Matt DeCiani. Randy Mullins also got around DeCiani. So DeCiani relegated back into the 3rd place position. That is sad to see. I have a feeling that's like I think Don and they unloaded the wrong car, or they maybe just weren't prepared for these track conditions. Because I mean, even though the A Open, you know, we have the 100% fuel now, the conditions of the racetrack could be vastly different from one session to another.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then if you're making adjustments on it, you know, I don't know. It's kind of like. I don't know. It's kind of like running a marathon in brand new shoes. You know, there's just some things you just can't do.
You got to get them broke in. And so here comes Abner Acosta to the inside of Josh Schaffner. He's going to take that spot and move his way up into 6th place. So Abner, after having a tremendous accident earlier, is now working his way back up to the front. and is trying to chase down Greg Wachinski. He's gonna get real close here. I mean, Abner's showing some really good speed. I think Heitman probably looking at that relative and saying, "Hey, please don't let that 44 get up here."
Well, here's the thing: these guys still got to come down and pit. That's still going to be the long pole in the tent. As we're just sitting here watching, and I'm just kind of trying to do my calculations, trying to figure it out, man. And it's just not adding up.
A little bit of contact with the wall from Wachinski there.
A lot of these guys might be banking on a caution.
And it could happen. I mean, this is going to be one of the longest runs we've had all night. As here comes Acosta to the inside.
And we've got about 5 cars, Brian, that are going to be right there on the cusp. They'll be hitting 50 laps within, 5-6 laps. So that's the longest run that we've seen anybody with, and I'm interested to see what's going to happen to the cars. So far, they're slowing down.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's going to be the continuing trend, but I think that a lot of the guys are going to start to have handling conditions as Abner Acosta up into now 4th place. Ryan Strunk, he's got a train of cars right behind him as Josh Schaffner and Greg Wachinski are going to be trying to work their ways around at 77. I'll tell you, the 77 has had a little bit more staying power than I expected him to have in that Havoline machine. I think that maybe it has something to do with the paint scheme.
And man, I don't know. We'll talk about that one offline, you and me, about that Havoline paint scheme.
Oh, Derek Heitman, though,
I could never run it.
Why's that?
Run it. And I know that's a dark star, brother. Kenny Irwin got killed. Kenny Irwin got killed in that car.
Oh,
Ernie
no.
Irwin lost his eye in that car. Davey died when he was driving. And you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, yeah, that's the way I've always seen it.
A lot of problems right now for Ryan Strunk as he just dropping through the field like a rock.
Yeah, and Strunk is sitting there right now. He's got 47 laps on his equipment, and I mean, it looks like he just got hit by Mike Tyson.
I think he might have hit the wall. I'm seeing some damage on his right side as he is losing position after position after position. He could even have does he have a meatball possibly?
Ryan Strunk does have the meatball flag. Yeah, that's a true statement. Right when we were talking it up, there it is, landed in his lap.
I think he's going to end up having to go down pit road here.
Avery also ended up with a meatball flag, so I don't know exactly what occurred to make him kind of have that, but that might explain the reason why he tapped out when he did.
Yeah, it looks like Ryan Strunk is going to safely make it onto pit road.
But yeah, now we're sitting there and we're watching these drivers, Brian. They're coming up right on 50 laps on their equipment. And that is the longest run that anybody would have made here tonight. So we're going to be monitoring their lap times.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of lap times, I mean,
DeCiani is actually in 3rd place, and he has 50 laps on his tires right now.
Everybody in the 25-second range in lap times. I mean, looks like Acosta, the fastest car on the track right now. He's hitting about a 25.013, and the second fastest, I do believe, is Josh Schaffner at the moment. So both of these guys really good at saving their equipment. I'm assuming, I think 155, 160, I think we're going to start to see that green flag stop start to happen.
So here's the question. If you're Acosta and Schaffner, do you pit before you pass, or do you pass before you pit?
I don't know. I mean, you see Acosta's getting closer and closer to DeCiani. I'm assuming that, I'd want to go ahead and get that pass completed. If you're going to, I would go ahead and try to get out in front of him. But then again, I mean, this is a hard track to pit at as well. You kind of slow down in the racing groove when you're trying to go pit here. So I don't know if I would want to stay behind him, but I don't think that's what that 44 is going to be doing. Of course, you see the 5 on your screen. That is actually the 44 is actually his number, but that is Abner Acosta. And he looks like he's going to be trying to take 3rd away here.
And Ryan Strunk has got his repairs done, and he is back out onto the racing surface.
It didn't seem like it must have been a whole lot of damage there. Probably bent the toe link. They would have fixed it quickly.
Makes you wonder if he actually came out with fresh tires or not.
I'll tell you, I mean, if I had any opportunity to get down pit road, if I was forced to go down there, I probably would take tires, just considering how his car was handling anyway.
Right now he's being shown 3 laps down, so.
See, DeCiani right now still trying to hang with that 44. Derek Heitman now has over a second on Randy Mullins. I think that clean air definitely telling the tale right now. I think he's loving every bit of it. What a race for Greg Carr. Haven't talked a whole lot about him tonight, Big Al. He's up in 7th. Great job for that 25.
Yeah, he's definitely got to be feeling pretty good about his performance here tonight, man, especially given the company that he's keeping.
Yeah, I mean, haven't talked a whole lot about him, but he's been showing some really good pace out here. He's trying to work his way up there to Wachinski, and I think he's catching him. I mean, I think Carr might have something for him. You see what's kind of going to complicate the situation. We mentioned Ryan Strunk coming off the pit road. Well, here he comes up into Greg Carr's orbit here. Of course, you could see he clearly took tires. Ryan Strunk looking a whole lot faster right now. Kenny Powell all the way back there in 10th. I just don't think that. I think Kenny Powell came into this race with a lot of confidence. I think that confidence might been his downfall here tonight. Of course, he's in 10th. Going to be some good points, but he needs more than that to claw that championship lead that Matt DeCiani has.
But we got a lot of racing left to go here.
That we do. Mark Sanchez, though, trying to take that 10th spot away from the 24. Side by side for 10th right now, as we're now on 152 laps into this event, and green flag pit stops are well and truly really on the horizon. We're getting ready to see them soon, I think, Big Al.
Well, I'm watching these guys now that are coming up with 60 laps on their equipment, and just like that, the 77 of Ryan Strunk coming down pit road again. Not the guy that I was expecting to see.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, he just came off of pit road.
Yeah, not sure what that's about.
I'll tell you, the best long run I'm seeing right now, though, it does seem like Derek Heitman is definitely a contender for it. He's got quite a bit of a gap there on Abner Acosta. You got to think Abner started way further back on that last restart.
DeCiani's got 61 laps on his rig right now.
And he's soon to be having to deal with the 50 of Josh Schopner. So, yeah, we're in unknown territories. These guys have not had a run that has been this long.
Absolutely.
And here comes Schopner to the inside of DeCiani. Can he make the pass stick? It's one thing to catch, it's another thing to pass, even though the tire difference is evident. It looks like Schopner does make it by, and that was probably one of the easiest passes I've seen all night.
So these guys are they're seeing how much DeCiani is suffering, and right now he has got 62 laps on this equipment. We've got 64 laps to go in this thing, and if you're looking at his lap time, I mean, he's pushing, almost to the high end of 25 seconds. So.
Yeah, and I think the proof is in the pudding. I think we're going to see DeCiani be the first taker to go down pit road, I think. He's kind of split this run in half if he goes down very soon.
I think
maybe he weathers the storm, like I think you were getting ready to say.
I think McMeekin comes down first. McMeekin, I think you're going to see him, because right now he's the same, but he is on the tail end of the lead lap, being shown right now in 13th position. So at that point, he has less to lose. But I think you want to try to get it down to a more manageable 55 laps. That's where 55 laps to go, I think is when you're going to see the majority of these guys start to come in.
And I think we've already seen someone do a green flag stop. I think Darren Mullins is now shown one lap down.
Did we miss Darren on pit road?
I think we might have, because he's running 23.9 last time by, so that is indicative that he took tires and has pitted.
.3 seconds in the box.
Make 2 tires?
11
point. That sounds like a 2-tire stop. You know?
Yep, DeCiani down pit road. So I think he's gone as long as he cared to.
Looks like he is.
That's 67 laps though, Brian. So that's still pretty good. Schaffner, surprisingly, coming down pit road. That's an early move. Here comes Wachinski. Also,
and Greg Carr. Yep.
Yep. So I think officially we are in the green flag pit window. The 9, J.C. Evans, pit road.
I think Heitman's getting ready to come down right here. Nope, he's going to wait another lap because Heitman probably needs to go down sooner rather than later because he's going to have that 44 breathing down his neck here soon.
Randy Mullins, pit road.
Yep, you see the 54 right now. So big changes in the running order here. Brian Johnson moves up into 3rd. Chris Johnson up to 4th. Mark Sanchez up to 5th. So definitely a lot of movement, a lot of moving pieces right now as we watch Greg Carr coming out of his box.
Yeah, if there's no caution, she's going to run now.
Of course, this is there's a lot of potential for a caution, though, because when you got guys on old tires and you got guys on new tires, usually those two don't mix. And if Darren Mullins took 2, yeah, he might end up wrecking that thing. I mean, I'm telling you, I just never can recommend someone taking 2 tires. It usually never works.
See.
But, I mean, he looks pretty good. He's going to be, I do believe, the leader of the lap down cars right now in 8th. And here comes DeCiani. Going to be bringing it down pit road. Not DeCiani, I'm sorry, Derek Heitman. Abner Acosta making up a whole lot of time on the entry. He is now only about 2/10 behind Heitman, so they're almost bumper to bumper coming down pit road. And that's going to put Brian Johnson up in the lead. I think Brian Johnson, of course, has yet to pit, along with his brother Chris, so these guys are going to be coming down soon as well. Looks like they're going to stay out one more time. I think Chris Johnson thought about it. Did not go down pit road, though.
Kenny Powell sliding down pit road. Literally.
He waited a long time to do it, but, I mean, these guys want to have those newer tires later.
Yeah, and I think that's the key to success here. I think you stay out as long as you can because you can run a lot faster, longer. Brian Johnson now. Sorry, that's Chris Johnson now going to be coming down pit road.
All right, now that we have a lot of these green flag stops kind of completed, we still have the top 4, I do believe. Well, actually, the top 3 still on old tires, but like you just mentioned, Chris Johnson has taken it down. Brian Johnson's still out there. The race for what I think is going to be the lead is probably between Abner and Derek Heitman. I think these guys are kind of the race for the soul here. Of course, Josh Schaffner short-pitted quite a bit.
You know what, though? I got to say this, man. I'm going to give a shout-out to my main man, McMeekin, because he is running right now with 75 laps on his tires. Like, way to go, Mr. McMeekin. Way to let it hang out there, boss.
Yeah, he's trying to do everything he can. As we see Abner and Derek Heitman going to be taking their lap back here, getting around Brian Johnson. Also, Abner Acosta has just gotten around Derek Heitman.
Yeah, I mean, Abner's on a different script right now, so I think he is going to be the car that you're going to be watching. He will be the car to beat here.
And I do believe
McMeekin is down pit road, along with Brian Johnson.
And that should give Darren Mullins the lead here. Of course, Darren Mullins, I do believe, has a little under a second back to Matt DeCiani. Coach DeCiani was on some old tires before that pit stop. I bet he's feeling like a new man right now, Big Al.
Yeah, but Darren's times are almost 25 seconds, so he won't be in the lead long. If these
Yeah, I think
guys
it's because he took
really
2
run them
tires.
down, yeah, he might as well go back and get the other 2.
Yeah, as there goes DeCiani. Drives right by him and takes the lead back once again. Randy Mullins right there as well, sitting in third. For how long, though, as we see Abner Acosta in the background, getting by Josh Schaffner. Abner is on the march. I'll tell you what, I think these guys are sad to see Abner Acosta racing here on Thursday. We're like, I heard tell of him on Saturday, but I never wanted to see him here on this Thursday race because he makes his presence known. I'll tell you one I'd love to see fight. Abner and Clayton Hoffman. I'd like to see that fight.
I already knew you were going to say that. I would like to see that as well.
Both of them are incredibly fast.
And humble. I mean, that's the cool thing. It's one thing to be, fast and arrogant like me, but these guys are just class acts. They're just, the nicest dudes you're ever going to meet.
Yeah, they're very clean drivers for sure. They don't do a whole lot to, they're not going to wreck you. They're going to get by you though.
Yeah. See me, I'll wreck you. I don't. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
100%.
5 laps down. Going for the crown.
Let's do a quick rundown through the field here. Matt DeCiani is your leader. Randy Mullins sits in second. Abner Acosta in third. Josh Schaffner fourth. Derek Heitman in fifth. Darren Mullins in sixth. Seventh, Greg Wachinski. Eighth, Greg Carr. Ninth, Chris Johnson. And rounding out our top 10 is Kenny Powell.
J.C. Evans is going to be in 11th with Mark Sanchez in 12th. Brian Johnson 13th. Matthew McMeekin, 1 lap down right now in 14th. And then Ryan Strump, Don Avery, Al Koslowski, and Paul Osen have all retired from the event.
And here comes Randy Mullins. Is going to be trying to take the lead here. We've seen Randy, though, struggle with trying to make passes here. He's had a significant speed. I don't think this is going to be too difficult, though. I think he's on a little bit newer tires than Matt DeCiani. He does take the lead from him.
Yeah, 2 laps. 2 laps difference on those 2 guys' equipment.
Randy's just trying to get as far away from Abner as he possibly can because Abner's coming.
That'd be the best advice I could give him with 43 laps to go before we put this one in the books. Had a lot of lead changes here tonight, Ryan. It's been awesome. Awesome and competitive. That's something that we'd like to see. It's not been one-sided at all.
No, not at all. As you can see, completely the lights have come on out here. Has the track conditions changed?
No. Right now we're cooler than we were by 2 degrees, so it's 73 degrees. Now what it is 68 degrees on the ambient side. Wind's still out of the west at 4 miles an hour. Just one of those nice Iowa nights. I mean, just perfect for picking corn.
Tell you what, the corn man himself right here trying to hold on to that 4th place position, not able to do so as Derek Heitman rockets his way around.
Yeah, looks like the 64 has turned this into a 2-stop event, so he is now down on pit road picking up those other 2 tires.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like I said, I never would recommend a 2-tire stop. Now, maybe if you had like 10 to go or something like that, that could be a worthy thing to do, but it just never works when you have to go a long run.
Yeah, no.
Well, while we have a little bit of a lull in the action, Big Al, I think it'd be a good time to pay some more attention to our sponsors. We weren't able to really do that during stage 2 because of the kind of the mishaps that was going on there. So we'll take a brief step away. We'll be right back with some more racing action.
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms, from camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgot.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
There, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I feel comfortable, bro. We get a hug, man. What have you done here?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
There are only a few corn rootworm traits widely available, and many brands use the same ones. So switching brands for corn rootworm needs may have little impact when it comes to traits protecting your fields. There are two main types of Bt proteins, Cry3 and Cry3435. Because most corn rootworm products include two modes of action, there is typically at least one trait from each of these protein families in a product. Cry3435 traits carry the heaviest weight when it comes to protecting against corn rootworm today. The two Cry3435 events out there are the Herculex Extra trait and the event DP4114 found in Pioneer brand Chrome products. Pioneer helped develop both of these traits. Since seed brands all share Bt trait technologies, the bigger performance difference comes from the corn genetics. They determine traits like yield potential, root strength, and disease tolerance to yield-robbing diseases like tar spot. Pioneer corn hybrids are 100% exclusive. Nope, you won't find them in another bag, and come from the germplasm we've been building for more than 100 years. We're the only corn brand that can say that.
Alrighty, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. While we were under our commercial break, Abner Acosta has taken the lead, and he's pulling away from Randy Mullins. Now 1.2 seconds separate these two. Matt DeCiani not far back, but I think he's getting ready to have some company of his own from Derek Heitman. As you see the 64 out there kind of in the mix. Of course, Darren Mullins is now 2 laps down. Only 12 drivers right now are on the lead lap.
Like Mr. McMeekin got into the wall there just a little bit. That definitely scrubbed off a lot of his speed.
That it has.
Caused a little bit of excitement for the other drivers around him at that time.
There's definitely been a whole lot of excitement, that's for sure.
Yeah, Kenny Powell finds himself all the way up into the 8th place now. Ran a good, consistent run for Powell.
Yeah, very much so. You see Brian Johnson right there behind him. So I do expect some type of battle in here. And, you know, Powell might even catch up there to Chris Johnson here.
Yeah.
But quite a big gap between 5th and 6th. Look at that. It's almost 5 seconds.
Well, you know, a couple of these guys are they're on different phone plans, if you will.
Yeah, they are.
And we've pretty much been running the majority of this track for the evening, though. It looks like Johnson now is going to get around Powell on the inside. Powell kind of yielded that position.
Yeah, Powell going to try to get his way back up to that 4 car, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do much. As Brian Johnson going to try to drive away here, maybe catch up to his brother, Chris. Look at Abner go, 1.9 seconds, almost a 2-second lead. This is the biggest gap I think we've seen all night.
Yeah, he is slowly catching up to Mr. J.C. Evans.
Yeah, could find himself going a lap down, that's for sure. As we're now 193 laps into this race. And Abner Acosta, I think, has led not the majority of the race, but I'd say, yeah, he's led the most laps out of everybody.
I think he's led the majority of it. Well, no, you're right. Yeah, the last 2 runs were pretty long, especially because he got wrecked right at the end of stage 2.
Yeah, that he did. As Heitman has taken over the 3rd place position, Matt DeCiani going to be relegated back into that 4th place spot. Taking a look at the lap times. Looks like.
DeCiani-
Go ahead.
DeCiani's still on a little bit of a different plan, too, because he's got about 5 laps longer on his equipment than the guys around him.
Yeah, I think you're right. Looking at lap times, though, Chris Johnson turning some of the fastest ones on the track. Brian Johnson as well. Brian Johnson looks really fast right now. 24.6 last time by. That was faster than the leader, Abner Acosta.
Yeah, Brian's got the least amount of laps on his equipment next to Darren Mullins, who just went back in. So that's going to explain the reason why he is so fast.
And that really shows the value of that, doing the overcut instead of the undercut. A little bit of a blinking issue here from Chris Johnson as his brother Brian starts to catch up closer. They are within a second of one another.
And they're about 3 laps different on their tires. So just give you an indication of how much of a difference 3 laps makes.
Oh, it makes a lot of a difference. I mean, we've seen it already plenty of times here tonight. 3 laps makes a big difference. As it looks like Brian Johnson is going to be able to make that pass look pretty easily. He's going to move up into the 7th place position. Now going to be trying to work his way up to Greg Wachinski. But Wachinski's got about 2 seconds of a buffer before he has to deal with Brian Johnson, as we're almost now 20 laps to go next time by.
And he really kind of dusted Kenny Powell. If you can see the difference between those two now, J.C. Evans now getting passed. He's actually being passed by Randy Mullins.
Yep, he has now gone a lap down, so only 11 drivers on the lead lap. Mark Sanchez is going to be the next one on the chopping block. Abner Acosta now 3 seconds of a lead. What a fantastic performance from this 44 here tonight. As he's got it all but sealed away, but still a lot of things can still go wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's laying off anymore.
Not at all. And of course, I think this is his first race in the Thursday Cup Series. So, man, what a race! He shows up and he sends a message. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, what an introduction, right?
100%. Just big gaps all over the place here. Not a whole lot of racing going on. Of course, this has been the longest run of the night. 100 laps or so green.
Yeah, we've only had 4 cautions for a total of 18 laps.
I'll tell you, these guys have just got to be plain old wore out. I mean, this is a lot of laps. We talked about this before. By this point in the race, a lot of these guys' patience are probably running very thin.
Yeah, it just makes me realize just how much we love talking.
Tell you what, my throat's starting to hurt from talking so much here tonight. I'm going to have to drink me some hot tea and some honey after this thing. This is definitely an uncharacteristically long race here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you being patient with us and sticking with us. I'll tell you what, it's going to pay off because we're going to get to talk to these guys and they're going to get to walk us through what the challenges were here tonight and, how much preparation it took. I mean, a long race like this, I feel like you feel even more gratified with a win.
Well, I mean, we've seen a little bit of everything. We saw some sunlight. I mean, then it got dark. We saw green flag pit stops. We saw yellow flag pit stops. So, yeah, we're throwing a little bit of everything at it tonight, Brian.
100%. Derek Heitman just took over second place from Randy Mullins. Definitely an awesome run for that 76 here tonight. He's been very, very consistent. Of course, been involved in an accident earlier with Abner Acosta.
Been fast, too.
He's been really fast. He has been really, really good this week, and I think he needs that. I mean, I know we talked to him. I think he's been frustrated, Derek Heitman, I think, the last few weeks. But I think he's gotten that car really tuned in for his driving.
Yeah,
it's not from lack of trying. I mean, Derek Heitman is probably one of the hardest workers we know in the ISCA.
Yeah, absolutely. It really hasn't been in our racing relatively long.
Oh, yeah, 100%. He definitely, most times when he comes to a track, it's his first time there, and I think it might be the same thing for this track.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear that song.
And yeah, we will be able to talk to him. I think you're going to be the one to talk to him.
He can tell us that, he never ran a lap at Iowa.
Well, the race is on right now for the 6th place position. Brian Johnson has caught Greg Wachinski. There was a big buffer in between that 5 and that 4, but it looks like Brian Johnson has gotten cut that down. And look who's come back into the picture. I mean, we thought Brian Johnson was just going to pass right by Chris Johnson, and that would be it. But Chris is right there. Chris ain't going nowhere.
Well, like I said, those two guys are the closest there as far as their tires are concerned. They're 3 laps off.
Which is definitely very impressive to see Chris able to still maintain right now. But Brian Johnson looking really good. He's wanting to take that 6th place away from Wachinski. I don't think it's going to be an easy fight, though. Even though both of these guys are on G&G, we talk about it so many times. I mean, them being on the same team does not mean they're not gonna cut each other breaks. They're gonna race each other hard, especially after 200+ laps.
Yeah, they're still racing.
Yeah, I don't care how much teammates they are. They race each other hard.
10 to go. Yeah, man, I invite you to my victory celebration.
I'll save you a beer, right?
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
I'm liking what I'm seeing from Heitman. He's showing significant speed right now, starting to catch up to Abner, but I think he's a little too late. I don't think he has enough time. As here comes Brian Johnson to the high side of Greg Wachinski. And we talked about it. This is the place to pass. You want to pass on that top, but a lot of times you can't get up there. The opportunity is not there, but it looks like Brian Johnson was able to take that line away, and he's going to move up into that 6th place position. Also, Josh Schaffner starting to catch up to DeCiani. Does he have enough time to take over the 4th place spot?
Man, I don't think anybody's giving up anything at this point. I think, if you do catch me, good luck. You're going to go low, I'm going to go high, and we're just going to ride this thing around.
Yeah, I'm going to be 5 wide all by myself.
I mean, you know what I mean? As Dale used to say, that Chevy Monte Carlo gets mighty wide.
That it does. Now Virgin on 5 laps to go, and just a couple laps here. Abner Acosta with a 2.8-second lead over Derek Heitman. Heitman has been trending towards where he's catching that 44, but like I said, a little too late.
A little bit of a blanking condition there for Mr. Matt DeCiani.
I thought Schaffner maybe had gotten by him, but it looks like you're right. A little bit of a blink there from the 1. Also, Chris Johnson has gotten by. Oh, wow. What happened to Brian Johnson? Back into 9th now, or 8th now. We might have missed something here, because Chris Johnson is now up into 6th place. Of course, he is not giving up yet. Going to be trying to get back around that 5 machine.
Speaking of 5 laps to go.
Brian Johnson getting really close to the back of the 5 car. The 5 getting loose off of turn 4. And now Brian Johnson does get the pass completed. He's now up into 7th.
Abner's going to be catching the 41 of McMeekin just in time. Just 3 laps to go at the line. Hopefully that will not be a factor.
Yeah, of course, McMeekin is already a lap down, so this would put him 2 laps down if Abner does catch and pass him. But you can see McMeekin definitely not having the best pace right now. I think that tires are worn out. He's also had some contact with the wall a little earlier. As a verging on now 2 laps to go. Now, if we make it to the white flag, next flag will end it. And I think Abner, he's doing his victory laps right now.
I don't think he's going to let Heitman get as close to him as he did at the end of that last stage.
Oh, no, not at all.
Well,
what a race for Randy Mullins. This is a breakout race for him. I don't think we've seen him get a finish like this.
No, I mean, a long race to boot. And then he actually was consistent all the way throughout. to include putting it on the podium at the end of it. So yeah, I think that's an awesome showing for those guys.
Yeah, we rarely get to talk to Randy up here in the booth, and he's one of the guys that has that kind of propensity to burn the stuff up. But he has not done that tonight. He's been competitive. White flag is out. Abner Acosta up to the back of Matthew McMeekin, and I think he might cut him a little bit of a break here.
Well, Schaffner's not trying to cut DeCiani a break. He is trying to do everything he can to best his position.
Yeah, that battle is very, very close right now. It's Schaffner side by side. Of course, Abner Acosta has crossed the line, and he is your winner, as this is a battle for that fourth place, and it looks like DeCiani is going to take that spot. Do a quick rundown through the field as it stands right now. Abner Acosta in first, Derek Heitman second, Randy Mullins in third, Matt DeCiani fourth, Josh Schaffner finishes fifth, sixth place Chris Johnson, seventh Brian Johnson, eighth Greg Wachinski, ninth Kenny Powell, and Greg Carr in the top 10.
Mark Sanchez in 11th, J.C. Evans 12th, Matthew McMeekin 13th, Darren Mullins 14th, Ryan Strunk 15th, Don Avery 16th, Al Koslowski 17th, and Paul Olsen rounds out the 18-car field. Hey, with that done, Brian, are we going to take a break and get a word from our sponsors, or we're going to go right into the post race?
Yeah, I think we'll take one more quick break, pay some more attention to our sponsors, and we'll get everybody kind of wrangled up. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms, from camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgotten.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
There, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I'm so comfortable, bro. We get a hug, man. What have you done, Jim?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
There are only a few corn rootworm traits widely available, and many brands use the same ones. So switching brands for corn rootworm needs may have little impact when it comes to traits protecting your fields. There are two main types of BT proteins, Cry3 and Cry3435. Because most corn rootworm products include two modes of action, there is typically at least one trait from each of these protein families in a product. Cry3435 traits carry the heaviest weight when it comes to protecting against corn rootworm today. The two Cry3435 events out there are the Herculex Extra trait and the event DP4114 found in Pioneer brand Chrome products. Pioneer helped develop both of these traits. Since seed brands all share BT trait technologies, the bigger performance difference comes from the corn genetics. They determine traits like yield potential, root strength, and disease tolerance to yield-robbing diseases like tar spot. Pioneer corn hybrids are 100% exclusive. Nope, you won't find them in another bag, and come from the germplasm we've been building for more than 100 years. We're the only corn brand that can say that.
Alrighty, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and what a race it was here tonight. Of course, we're going to talk to our winner first, Abner Acosta. Awesome job here, Abner. I mean, you almost saw it slip away from you, slip through your grasp when you spun around, went to the back, but you were able to fight your way back up. What did it take to do that, to be able to claim this victory, especially a long race? I bet it feels pretty satisfying.
Hey guys, good evening. Yeah, my feet are killing me, but got kind of like bumped out of the way there. I'm sure it was not intentional or anything, but I didn't think I was gonna finish good after that because passing here is so difficult. But I just took it slow, and I was able to make it up. I didn't think I would be able to make it on one stint to the front. So I guess I don't know if they were battling on the front, but that kind of just reset me, and I was able to kind of just come out ahead on the last stint.
Yeah, I think a lot of what you were able to do also was on the green flag stop. It seemed like you and Derek Heitman came into pit road very, very close to one another, but on the entry, you were able to kind of get a little bit more time and catch up to that back bumper, and then right after the pit stops, you were able to drive around him. Do you think that that was the big thing, the moment of the race that kind of got you the win?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I saw him come into the pits, I figured I'll go behind them. It's kind of, you kind of, it's kind of like cheating in a way because he's kind of has to look for the cone. I don't. I just have to look at his car. So it's a good. I can kind of just cut some time from him, and it basically kind of just reset us. And I guess I had like a better short run pace at the end. There, he was actually catching me. Um, Obviously, he ran out of time, but so he did pretty well. I think he just went full safe mode maybe on that last stint, and fortunately for me, it worked out getting that early gap.
Now, I know this is actually, I think, your first race on the Thursday Cup Series. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was kind of last minute. I was just sitting here. I was like, maybe I have some time to do this race. So I just signed up and just went ahead and did the race to get some practice in. This is my first race on this week on Iowa. So I just wanted to get some laps in too.
Wow, your first race this week at Iowa, and you picked the ISCA, a 219 lap race, and it seemed like it worked out well for you. I mean, you qualified third, you able to win the race. You led 109 laps. That's more than everybody out here. I mean, just what a great job. I mean, I think you sent a message to everybody in the Thursday series. Should we expect more of you here on Thursday?
Yeah, I would say I'm gonna be more of like a part-time kind of thing, but I definitely can't make the Saturday races. But Thursdays it'll be more like depending on how busy I am. But I'm definitely gonna try. I run a couple of leagues like road racing and all that, so I feel like this is a good. It's a lot of laps, so you get a lot of practice. So I can just jump in here, get a bunch of laps in. Everybody's pretty clean racing, so it's a really good league. So we'll see. I'm gonna try and make as much as I can, but I would say part time for now.
All right. Well, I know you said something about road courses, and I know you're pretty good at those. We got, I do believe, Daytona road course coming up next week. Do you expect to be there? And if you are, how confident are you?
I didn't know that was next week. I am considered, from the oval guys, the road course guys. So I am pretty good at those. I feel like I'm better at those than ovals. So I'm pretty sure I'll do fine. That's gonna be a lot of laps. I'm not sure how many laps is those. My feet are gonna kill me, but I'm definitely gonna try and do that next week if it's the road course for sure.
All right. Well, congratulations once again on the win, Abner. Who can we give a shout out to after this awesome performance tonight?
Yeah, want to shout out Private Label Team Hype, Pandereta Racing Team, and TWRS setups for the setup that I ran tonight. So if anybody wants to go check it out, just go over to their website.
All right, Abner. Well, thanks for your time, man. And seemed like you definitely had a good hot rod there for sure. Hopefully, we'll get to see you next week, man.
All right, see you guys. Have a good night.
All righty, that was Abner Acosta, your winner here tonight. Next up, Derek Heitman, I do believe, is standing by with Big Al.
Hey, Derek Heitman, Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, Big Al.
Man, we got to quit meeting like this. I mean, it just seemed like it was just 100 laps or so. You were sitting telling me how this was your first race here and you'd never raced up. No, I'm just kidding. Congratulations, though. Solid performance here tonight. You led 34 laps. You had a hot rod from the time you took it off of the trailer. So just tell us about your success.
A little disappointed in the finish. Personally, I really wanted to win. Hats off to Abner. Yeah, and apologies to taking him out at the end of stage 2. Everything just unfolded really fast in my windshield, and I screwed up. So I'm glad that he could come back and get the win. I didn't want to race him too hard after the pit cycle, just because I felt like I owed him one, so I just let him go on by. The car is extremely fast, really good in the long run. I had short run pace if I wanted to have short run pace, but I kind of focused more on the long run. Um, Nothing's worse than being probably the fastest car on the track and not enough laps to do anything with it. But other than that, it was all in all, it was a good night. P2 at my home track, couldn't ask for more.
Well, you did talk about putting a lot of time in the preparation for this thing, and it was an unfortunate, event that took place. But Abner said that he said you were catching him towards the end of this thing, and from where we were sitting at, like you were turning it. So the question I'm going to ask you now is, at what lap did your car really start to come alive? You think?
I mean, I personally, I don't think I could really tell a difference in whether the car was alive or not, because I just same story every week, Big Al. I just find a pace and I continually run that pace the entire race, and I try not to let anything deter me off that pace, because that's really what it comes down to. Having the best average lap time, finishing the race first or as close to it as you possibly can. I'd say as far as when my car, from what I noticed, was better than Abner's, was unfortunately with about 15 laps to go in the race. And at
Oh,
that
wow.
point, yeah, I mean, at that point, he had a 3 second gap on me, and shoot, I would have needed over 30 laps just being a tenth faster per lap to even have a shot at getting him. So I knew right there I had made my bed. Um, at the beginning of the run in stage 3, I really, really, really conserved. Pace wise, I probably ran 3/10 off of what I could have. Abner, however, did not. I probably should have tried to keep up a little harder. It doesn't help that he got an easy pass by a few guys coming up through the field, and they raced the heck out of me. But such is life. I understand their teammates, so I
But
mean that happens.
But you yourself were you were not easy to pass either. I mean, you gave Mr. Randy Mullins a run for his money. I mean, definitely wore your tires out and his. I mean, so this track is very difficult to pass at, but a lot of guys were making it happen, man. And it was just it was kind of awesome watching you, because we could tell you had a super fast car. Just sorry that you weren't actually able to close that gap and make it happen towards the end. But one more thing, lap traffic though, we were watching the 41 to McMeekin. So were you looking at that as well, checking and gauging the close rate that Acosta had, thinking maybe the lap traffic would kind of play into your favor?
He caught the lap traffic. I don't know, 10 laps earlier maybe, but I mean it was still late in the race. I knew I didn't have a shot, and I mean, to be honest, I mean, shout out to the entire room, everybody that raced here tonight, because the lap traffic was extremely respectful, for getting out of the way and just letting us run our line, and I don't feel like I ever got held up on exit one single time, which is a shocker, because it's been like that all week in A opens. But as far as that goes, I don't even think lap traffic would have slowed Abner down enough to where I would have been able to get to him.
Well, next week we're headed to Daytona Road Course. Totally different feel. What are you thinking about that? Any predictions, number one? And number two, I mean, is road racing even in your bag?
Oh yeah, road racing is definitely in my bag. I really good at Indy and the Indy Roval, Charlotte Roval, and Watkins Glen, but Daytona Road Course is kind of a little bit, more of a different animal. I haven't raced there a whole lot. I think last year when, yeah, I know, same story every week, Big Al. I mean, this is my first week ever racing Iowa, so
I mean,
I
I
know.
know, but if the Indy track, when we did the Indy Road Course, I mean, a lot of people. I mean, I do believe like the entire Saturday field took a page out of your playbook because of your pit strategy. So I'm sitting here thinking in my head, like if
Don't bring
you
that up. Don't bring that up. We don't need to remind everybody what goes on with the pit strategy at road courses
okay,
yet. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
I
kidding.
think it's going to be an awesome matchup though. So go ahead, tell us how you feeling you're gonna do.
Well, I think it's gonna, it's gonna be a learning experience for me, because I don't think I've ever been there in the next gen. I've raced there in the Mazda when Mazda was racing there. I ran some Mazda road course racing at Indy. I'm sorry, not Indy, Daytona road course. So I've been there before. I can't recall the time I've been there in the next gen though. So it's gonna be a learning experience. Next gen's fairly, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like these cars are a little too easy to drive. I kind of liked it better when the car first came out and it was snappy loose out of nowhere and there's nothing you could do to save it. You just had to have good throttle control with it. But such as iRacing figured it out. We'll see what happens next week. And I suppose you want a prediction from me, huh?
Might as well.
Well, Paul Olson's normally pretty good at road courses, so if he can keep his car out of the garage, I'll say I'll probably at least get a P4, just because there might be someone else in here decides to show up. Randy Mullins has been a wild card. I mean, he's really, really, really good, and it's only going to be a matter of time until he puts it all together.
All right. I'll take a P4. Before we let you go, who you shouting out tonight after your second place finish?
Of course, shout out to Michael Conti and RaceAPI.com and everything that he does to get us a setup that's out here and competitive and can win races and be able to run up front with the best of the best. Shout out Matt for being a great teammate as always. Shout out to Randy and Darren Mullins for also being fellow EPI drivers out on the track. I appreciate having them out there. And then of course, shout out to my girlfriend for letting me race this late. And last but not least, shout out Sherry for letting Don race this late as well.
Well, roger that, boss. Congratulations again, and we can't wait to see you next week.
I appreciate it, Big O.
Alrighty, that was Derek Heitman, your second place finisher. Next up is, I think, the first podium. I think we might have seen him. Is that correct, Randy? Randy, is this your first podium here?
Yes, sir. It's the first podium here in ISCA.
How about that? I mean, you have definitely showed a lot of speed. I know a lot of times we see you kind of burn them up a lot of times, but it didn't seem that way this week. It seemed like you had really good long run pace. Were you putting a lot of effort into maybe making sure that you had that long run pace here tonight?
The first two stages, I just kind of rode and I was trying to get by Derek, and obviously we raced hard, and I appreciate him running me clean. But in the third stage, I kind of pushed it a little bit, trying to get back in the top three. And I think I hurt it a little bit on the long run. And then when I came down pit road, I didn't take a full load of fuel, and naturally that's going to tighten the car up. So that hurt me as well.
That's interesting. Some different strategies there for sure. I mean, so preparation-wise, like coming into tonight's race, I mean, how many A opens did you turn? How many laps do you think that you turned to get ready for this?
I turned 3 total opens, one coming second in the other, and got dumped in the third. But practicing by myself, I probably honestly put in about 1,000 laps.
That's definitely quite a bit. So I'd say you feel pretty comfortable here with Iowa, huh?
I love short tracks in general. I just love them. I mean, you got to drive it. You ain't out there just riding. It ain't a cookie cutter, mile and a half. So it's just something I really enjoy.
Yeah, this is definitely a very unique kind of a short track here. It almost has that super speedway kind of feel to it. I love this track for sure. I mean, how much do you think the track position? How important was that? Do you think? Did you find it easy to pass? Because it seemed like you didn't, considering the way you were battling with Derek all race.
It wasn't easy to pass, that's for sure. Track position was definitely key here, in my opinion. So I focused a lot on qualifying. I wanted to qualify up front. I didn't qualify where I wanted to, but I knew if I can get in the top 5 and stay there all night, then as long as you put yourself in position, you'll have a shot at it at the end. So track position is very important. I learned in the open that you did not want to go to the back. I tried that on that third. No, I think it was the second one I ran, and it is just so hard to get back up front. By the time you do, your tires are junk.
100%. You were able to lead some laps tonight too. I mean, 9 of them, led. Of course, you and your father looked really good here tonight. Unfortunately, he had some issues. Ended up finishing 2 laps down in 14th, but still not a bad night at all. And your first podium, huge day for you. What's your kind of thoughts on the Daytona road course? That's where we're going to be going next week.
The road course is probably going to kick my rear end. I don't have many laps around a road course, so my goal is honestly just to finish it and not tear it up. Let other people take themselves out. Just let me climb the ladder and just get through it and then get to the super speedway.
That's right, because, of course, right after the Daytona road course, we're going to be heading to the Daytona Oval, which is going to be just plain old crazy, knowing all you guys. But we definitely look forward to seeing what you can bring out next week there, Randy. And who can we give a shout-out to after this nice third-place finish and leading some laps?
First and foremost, I need to give a shout out to Michael Conti. Me and him worked one-on-one a little bit, and that helped. Obviously, Derek and Matt DeCiani being the EPI teammates, and then my teammates, Derek Jacobs and my dad. But then I want to give a shout out to my wife, Heidi. She lets me stay up late, race, and then all the time I put in on this thing. And then I got a bunch of people that watched tonight: Mike, Ian, Steve, John T, all those people for watching. I appreciate y'all staying up late, and hopefully we entertained y'all.
All right. Well, thanks for your time, Randy, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you many more times in the future.
Yes, sir. And also, you forgot me in stage 2. I won that stage. You didn't.
We were
you didn't-
confused. We were very confused because the caution came out in such a weird way that we were not sure who won that stage. But I think, it was you that won that stage, right? Yeah, and we just didn't have time to really, I think we ended up talking to Don Avery because we were curious about why he was having so many issues. But, yeah, I do apologize we didn't get to talk to you there, Randy.
It's all good. I just wanted to give you a little grief. That's all.
That's right. Well, we appreciate it, man, Randy. We'll talk to you later.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All righty, that was Randy Mullins, our third-place finisher. Congratulations to all the top 3 and all the guys that showed up here tonight. What a fantastic showing. It was a long race, but it definitely was entertaining the whole way through. We appreciate everybody out there sticking with us. Big Al, you included. How you feeling, though?
Man, I'm feeling awesome. I'm telling you what, it was a great race. Congratulations. Had a lot of firsts. Congratulations to all the guys with their new paint schemes. To all the participation, want to keep those guys coming back out. Thank you, Abner. Hopefully we'll see you again next Thursday. Brian, thank you for putting up with me in the booth. Kenny, thank you for putting this whole party on, man. And let's keep this going.
100%. Well, we definitely, again, appreciate everybody out there tuning in. Make sure you tune in this coming Saturday. We'll be back here at Iowa once again. Broadcast will start around 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, the race itself will be starting a little after 9:30. Of course, we have to allow for qualifying, so maybe like 9:35 p.m. Tune in. We'll be right back at Iowa, another 219-lap race, 200 miles, and looking forward to it for sure. Going to be a whole new cast of characters, and I can't wait. Of course, next week, Daytona Road Course, so tune in Thursday if you want to keep track of the Thursday Cup Series. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you next time.